Hi, everybody. It's Jen here, author of Say Yes to Your Yes, How to Trust Your Gut and Take the Leap. Today, I was inspired to tell you guys a little bit more about the story of my book cover, the untold story of my book cover, actually, because I have told you guys some things and shared little bits and pieces about my book cover, but there's a whole story behind each element that is on top of the book that is very much related to the work that I do and to my purpose and my why and the impact that I want to make on the people who come into my orbit and my clients and my community and my family and my friends, really anyone who's in my orbit. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to open up my book cover and we're going to talk a little bit about what this is really about. Just like some of these, Walt Disney movies that we often are told have some kind of hidden meanings and some things in the movie that we don't even know are there that have some significance. I feel like it's very similar with the cover of any book, actually. And so I wanted to dive deep into mine this morning. So I'm going to open up the book cover here and we're going to look at it together. So the first thing I want to share is that I am very much a practical intuitive. I'm extremely fascinated by the spiritual world that we live in and the very physiological human physical world that we live in. And so I have a passion for bridging the gap in between both so that we can see them actually both as one unit working together than two very different worlds. And I think this is really important for me to share because I feel that there's a huge separation in the world between intuitives and spiritual leaders and very practical and logical people and leaders. And I don't think that that separation is necessary. I think that we can all coexist within the same world and bridge the gap between both worlds. And then, in my opinion, the human experience becomes mind-blowing and so exciting and um, so much more deep and so much more accepting of all parts of the human experience, which is not just the physical part, in my opinion. So this is the book cover, and we're going to just stick to the centerpiece here because this is what is the most important. So a lot of people told me when I was sharing the vision for my book cover to not put a brain on the book. And the brain is so important to me because it is the part of our physiology that really moves us through the world, right? It is what allows us to be functional human beings. And I'm extremely fascinated about the brain. In my book, I talk only about the left brain and the right brain because, again, it's about bridging the gap between the logic and the spiritual side of us. And so we're going to go really woo today because I'm going to be sharing an untold story with you guys um, that is very connected to the spiritual world that we are also living in this human experience. So as you can see, the left brain here is black and white. Okay. And this is very much how the left brain works. It thinks in a black and white way. It thinks in a yes or no. It thinks in this or that. And our left brain is very limited to what it already knows or what it has already registered while we've been here as human beings on this planet. So it's kind of like a hard drive on a computer. Your hard drive is just going to show you what is on your computer. It's not going to show you anything else than what has been saved and downloaded on the computer. And so our left brain is kind of like our hard drive. So it is limited to what you know, to what you've already experienced, and to what you've been conditioned to believe. And that is totally fine. Like, I love the left brain. The left brain is what allows us to function as human beings in this world, to have structure, to be able to go in a specific direction, to be able to be responsible, to look both sides before crossing the street so we don't get hit by a bus. The left brain is really, really important. And this is the side that I love, like the practicality of being human. For me, it's just like really exciting. So you'll often hearing me talk about project management and like all of my systems that I love to use to keep my life purpose and my soul and my mission and my work all in order and organized and flowing. And so that is what the left brain is about. Now, the right brain, there's a very particular story tied to the right side of the brain on this book cover. So as you can see, we have the right brain, and you can see underneath there that it has the same, kind of design a little bit as the left brain. But I put an explosion of watercolor coming out of the right side of the brain, because the right side of the brain is our creativity, our imagination. It is everything that is in the unknown. It is creativity. It is the artistic side of us, the feminine side of us. The left brain is more of the masculine side. It is very much what allows us to be in flow in an energetic way. And for me, growth happens on the right side of the brain. Obviously, again, there's all kinds of different parts to our brain, which I don't talk about in the book, because the point is not, this is not a course on understanding the whole brain, but it is an opportunity to understand what we have access to when we're moving through the world and making decisions. And I believe that our intuition speaks to us through our right brain. The watercolor that you see on the book comes from a very spiritual experience that I had around 2010 or 2011. So ever since I'm a little girl, I am highly intuitive, have very strong psychic medium abilities that are developing more and more as I get older. When I was younger, I was very scared as a child. I was terrified to go to bed, because when I went to bed, I felt too many things. I felt people and presences, but I couldn't see anything, and so I couldn't, my left brain couldn't understand it. So it just felt really, really scary to me. And as I got older and I became more and more confident leaning into the spiritual side of things, as I began to learn more about it, I was able to open up these channels even more, because the fear started to go away. And when my grandfather died, I was very, very close to him. And every single night when I went to bed, I would feel him sitting to my left side, right beside my bed. So it was almost like this feeling of, I would go to bed, I would lie down, and then I knew he was sitting right there until I would fall asleep. And one night I woke up, and I was still very much like in my subconscious, and I was very in between two realms, I guess we could say. And when I opened my eyes, I saw these watercolors. I was lying on my back, and I saw this swooshing of watercolors above me. And it stayed for quite a while, until my conscious mind and my left brain kicked in and was like, shut this down. This is crazy pants. You are insane. This is not safe. This is scary. And as soon as the left brain kicked in, it was gone. And I actually downloaded some videos that looked like what I saw that night when I woke up. And I knew it was my grandfather when I saw it. Because I could feel his energy. And now it's all of a sudden, essentially for me, what I saw was the essence of his spirit, and any spirit that is out there, which is just very bright and colorful. And it is, for me, everything that represents our soul and our intuition and all of the magic that happens when we're leaning into our right brain. And so I want to show you one of the videos that inspired the watercolor on the book, that was essentially as close as I could get to finding something that looked like what I saw that night. So this here is what I saw the night that I woke up. It was very similar to this. I just want to make sure that you guys are seeing this properly. So I'm going to stop share. I'm going to share again so that we grab this here. Okay. So this here was sort of what I saw when I woke up at night. It was a lot of pink in the colors. And it was like this swirling of colors and energy that were just floating above me. And it was so beautiful. And I remember when I woke my eyes open and I saw it, I remember feeling like I don't want this to ever go away. I don't want it to slip away from me because it's so beautiful and I've never seen anything like this. And so when I was designing the cover of the book, these watercolors on the book cover were such an important element to me because I believe that our intuition is constantly trying to lead us closer and closer to the essence of our soul. And it's constantly trying to lead us down the path that we chose before incarnating here on light. I warned you we're going very woo-woo today, but in a very practical way. And so for me, when my intuition is speaking to me, I feel like it's a reminder from my soul of why I came here. What is the growth that I'm meant to go through while I'm here? What is the healing that I am meant to embark on while I'm here as a human in this physical human body? And so our intuition is like helping us follow these breadcrumbs that is walking us down the path that has been chosen for us so that we go through a specific type of growth while we're here as human beings. And then the fun part for me about this is like we get to be human about this, right? This is what's beautiful about being a human being is we get to pull this down into the physical human experience, into our physiology, into our bodies. And so I always tell everybody our intuition speaks to us through our bodies very often, through a feeling in our gut, in our heart. You might feel nauseous when your intuition is saying like, do not do this thing, do not engage with this person. Some people get more of visions. That's still your intuition speaking to you through your body, through your senses, essentially. And some people, I was talking with someone the other day who was saying, I don't feel my intuition in my body. But then she started to share that actually she hears things all the time. And I was like, that's your intuition speaking to you through your body because it's speaking to you through your audio senses, essentially. And so your intuition, in my opinion, is always leading you to experience the most expansive, limitless potential that you are capable of experiencing. And that means you got to go through the channel of the right brain because that means stepping into the unknown. That means taking a path that you have not walked before. That means doing something that is going to be really challenging for your left brain because your left brain is going to try to pull you back in. It's going to try to make you believe that it is unsafe because we haven't done this before. We don't know what it's going to look like if we step in this direction. And so because it doesn't have any kind of confirmation or guarantee that everything is going to work out, it doesn't want to let us go there. So this journey of intuitive living and intuitive leadership is so important because if we only lead our lives through what we know and what we've already experienced, we're just going to keep experiencing the same thing over and over and over again in a different disguise. Whereas if we allow ourselves to trust our gut, that feeling that is coming through, and we move in that direction just one step at a time, we are going to experience the things we came here to experience, and we're going to experience life in an even more vibrant, expansive, and limitless way. And that is exciting for us. Our soul just wants to play and have fun, and our left brain just wants to make sure that we don't get hit by a bus. And so if we just allow them both to work together, we can move through the world in a way that is not reckless, but that is expansive and exciting. And the trick to all of this comes back to our physiology because we have a nervous system that is there to help keep us safe. It's actually our nervous system that's sending signals to our brain to tell us what to do and what not to do. So being a yoga therapist, I always teach about the nervous system. So I talk about it in the book if you haven't read it yet. And I talk about how when we can keep our nervous system in the relaxation response, it's going to go into the stress response all the time. That's normal. It's okay to have a little bit of stress. It's actually healthy. A little bit of stress is what gets us moving and into action, right? It's kind of that good dose of adrenaline, but not too much. Because when we have too much adrenaline, then we're secreting so much cortisol in our body, and then it becomes toxic, right? And then our thoughts are toxic, and then we have toxins in our physical body, and then we get sick, and it's like this vicious cycle. But if we keep our nervous system, if we constantly bring it back to its relaxation response through breathing, through meditation, through walking, through going in nature, there's a million ways in which you can do this. You're going to continually remind your nervous system that, no, I am safe. I got this. I can trust myself and I can trust my intuition. Therefore, I'm going to take one step forward. And then it's easier for the left brain to get on board. It's going to be like, okay, we're going to move forward, and we're going to make sure we check these boxes off to keep you safe. And so when we go about intuitive living in that way, we are not reckless. We are actually taking beautiful risks and beautiful leaps towards the things that we really, really desire. And then life gets really, really exciting. So that is the story of the book cover. If you have follow-up questions, feel free to send me a message. I love answering questions. You can send me a private message wherever you're following me on social media. You can comment on this video. And if you want to hear the audio reading of the book, I actually read the book to my Substack audience and shared a lot of other untold stories and coaching tips. And there's a lot of juicy bonuses. And I call it my audio version unplugged. I read it from home. It's as if we were sitting together, having a cup of coffee and just reading through the book together. And it's a really beautiful experience. So you can head over to substack.com and look for Intuitive Living with Jennifer Jane Young, and you will be able to access the audio version of the book reading. I hope this was inspiring. If this has ignited anything in you and you want to have a conversation about it, about you taking your next step and trusting your gut and taking those leaps in a way that will feel really safe and exciting and expansive, you can book a call with me at jenniferjaneyoung.com/book, BOOK. And we can look at what your next step is and how I can support you in that. Have a wonderful day, and I'm excited to be back for some more drops of wisdom around intuition and the practical, physical human experience.